we've religionized God throughout the world. God's not into really religion. God's into a relationship. He wants a close, intimate relationship with you. In Revelation 18:4, and it says, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, Babylon, my people, that you not be partakers of her sins and you not receive of her plagues. Now notice he's claiming my people. And he's saying, come out of Babel. Well, a lot of people think that's a city. That's not a city, that's confusion. He's saying, come out of confusion. I don't want you there. And so we're asking ourselves, what confusion? What is confusion? Confusion is not knowing. And he wants us to know. His whole thing is how to love God. Did he give us ways to? Yes. Hosea 4:6. Again, he identifies us as my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject you. Thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law, I will also forget thy children. Now this priest thing brought me to Revelation 5:10, which is not on your notes. And we're talking about the end times here, and we're, during that reign, the 1,000-year millennial reign, and he says, and he made us sovereigns and priests of our Elohim, and we shall reign upon the earth. And so basically in this one here, he's saying that you won't be a priest for him if you reject the knowledge that he's giving you. And this is my favorite verse here, Matthew 7:21 through 23. Not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? Haven't we cast out demons and devils and done many wonderful works? And I will profess to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a little bit of this and back up a little bit. First of all, I want you to notice something. Not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, first of all, understand they're believers. This verse is talking to believers, or they wouldn't have said, Lord, Lord. They would have said something else. So he's trying to warn believers here. And will enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that what? Doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. And then this other word, many. That one stuck with me for a long time, because I can go into the book of Revelations. He says a third. He gives numbers. If you got 6 billion people on the earth, and he says many, is it less than half? Is it more than half? Now, I think it's there to guess, but why did he say many? Because he's not talking about the people that don't believe. He's talking to people that do believe. Many of them will say to me in that day, what day? The terrible day, the great and terrible day of the Lord. And I love telling people that, the great and terrible day, because it's the same day. It's going to be great for some people. It's going to be terrible for some others. It's the same day, so shoot for the great day. So here we are, and that great and terrible day, he's telling us that a lot of believers are going to come to me and say, Lord, Lord, and guess what? The whole title of this message is not what you did, it's what you didn't do. Do you understand what he's telling you you're doing? And I'm not saying you, us. He's saying you're going to come to me and tell me what you did. And I'm going to tell you what you didn't do. So it's not what you did, it's what you didn't do. Psalm 6:8, depart from me, all you workers of iniquity, for the Lord has heard the voice of thy weeping. So it's not what you did, it's what you didn't do. So what is the definition of lawlessness or iniquity? So we'll go to 1 John 3:4. It says that sin, iniquity, is the transgression of the Torah laws. And in Romans 2:12 and 13, for as many as sinned without the law, the Torah, shall perish without the law. Do you understand what that means? That means if you don't have any of the Bible or the Torah or any of that, and if you sinned a lot, then God won't even use it. It's probably going to fit into that terrible day thing, right? And so then he says, as many of you have sinned in the law shall be judged by it. For not just hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. And I don't know about you, but as we go on with this message, we're going to see justified, sanctified. We're going to see all these words, and that's what we're shooting for, correct? And he's really kind about telling us how to get there. So what is the law? It's the Torah, the instruction, hitting the mark, the bullseye. I like Mark's interpretation of that, the arrow hitting the bullseye. So if that is the law or the instruction, then what is lawlessness? Well, lawlessness is without the Torah, without the law, or missing the mark. John 3:21, but he that doeth the truth comes to the light, that his deeds may be manifest, that they are wrought from God. So the question is, what is truth? I have manifested my name unto the men which gave me out of the world, and thine they were, and thou gave them to me, and they have kept thy word. John 17:17. Here we get a definition. Instead of anybody sitting there trying to give you a definition, we try to let the Bible define itself. So this here, John 17:17 is really good. Sanctify them. We're looking for sanctification, correct? So there's another word, justified, sanctified. We're looking for these things. He says, sanctify them through the what? Thy word is. We just got a definition from God, right? So if anybody wants to know what the truth is, it's the word of God. And we all know what the word of God was. The word was with God and it became flesh. So, we can put all these definitions into one right here. John 17:19. And for their sakes I sanctified myself, that they also might be sanctified through the what? The truth. So we're looking for justification, sanctification, all these different things. He's given it to us. Sanctify them in the truth. Be set apart. I had 5 kids. First kid. Anybody relate to me on this one? First kid. Oh, they're going to eat the best dinners. They're going to dress really nice. They're going to, oh yeah, we're going to roll them around. We're going to look good. We're going to be proud of this kid. Second kid, things started laxing. Third kid. Oh. They could sit in a mud puddle and play, and you're going, good, you're occupied. Fourth kid. Oh my gosh, you start letting the first 3 take care of it. The 5th kid, you don't even know you have it. We change. We change rules. If we don't like rules, we change them. It's what we do. I want you to understand something. Who owns the universe? It's his house, correct? He has rules for his house. And let me tell you something in your notes in Malachi 3:6. I am the Lord, I change not. Because the one thing that we can rely on for absolutely, if we don't like things, society don't like things, we change it. It just becomes real convenient for us. We change the Sabbath. We change all kinds of things because we can. Well, God is telling you here, you live in my house, and I have rules, and I don't change. Thank God for God, because you know what? At least we know something's consistent. Deuteronomy 4:6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your... Dear God, please give me ignorance. Nobody wants that. Give me knowledge. Give me understanding. Give me something I can deal with. So it says, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of all the nations, that you hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation, wise and understanding people. Nobody asks for stupid. They want wisdom. And God is saying, this is your wisdom to do these things. Deuteronomy 5:1, and Moses called to Israel, and he said to them, hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak into your ears this day, that you may learn them, keep them, and do them. Deuteronomy 30:12 through 14, it is not in heaven that you should say, who shall go up to heaven and bring him down to us, and that we may hear and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that someone should say, you should go over the sea for us and bring it to us, that we may hear and do it. But the word is Yeshua, right? The word is very near, unto thee in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou may do it. So what are we trying to get at here? There's multiple repetition here. He's saying, do them, learn them, keep them, do them, learn them, keep them, do them. When there's massive repetitiveness, your mind goes, ooh, this must be important. I better hang on to this. And I think God is trying to say that. Remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath to the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. Remember God says, I do what? I change not. The Sabbath is his day. It's the one that we set apart. Understand when he says Sabbath with no S on the end, that is the Sabbath, the day. And then the next verse is Exodus 31:13, and it says, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbaths, notice there's an S on the end. The S represents all the feasts, the Sabbath and the feast. So whenever you see the S on the end, it means all of them. So he's telling you not only to observe the Sabbath, but observe all the feasts. Keep them, for it is a sign between you and me throughout your generations. You know, it amazingly, in Leviticus 23 tells you these are my feasts. You know, and it amazes me. Everybody's so worried about the mark of the beast. God says, keep my Sabbaths, and I will put, it is an oath, a sign, a mark on you. You don't have to worry about the mark of the beast if you got God's mark. Once you're God's and he puts his name on you, nobody else can have you. And he's telling you, you want my mark? You want my mark? Keep my Sabbaths and obey my commandments, and I'll put my name on you. This is the word that he gave us, the instruction manual. He says, keep my commandments. A few hours before his death, he says, if you love me, keep my commandments.